Welcome to week 2 of the RFHL podcast. This week is hosted by me, Rob the Mayor. How's everyone doing today? I am joined by Matt Makarchuk and Brandon, and I feel like I should know it, but I might say it wrong. Sisson, correct, Brandon?
That's absolutely correct.
Perfect. Brandon Sisson. So thank you guys for joining me this week. We got some great volunteers that are interested in being part of the podcast, and I started putting everything together, and I realized I had an awesome little goalie trifecta here. So I'm happy to have you guys on the podcast for week 2. It's exciting. Let's just start it off. Brandon, how you doing today? Okay.
Yeah.
Are we losing Brandon already? We might be losing Brandon. Matt, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. Oh.
Well, I might have frozen right there.
All right, he's back. He's good.
Yeah.
That's probably going to happen multiple times. I'm not going to lie.
It's all right. You know, it's going to keep things fresh. I mean, Matt's getting his dinner right now. We're on the fly, dude. We're just going to do what we can right now. Matt, what'd you get for dinner? What's going on?
Jess, what's the name of it?
It's
First tomato burrata pasta. And
All
I'll tell you
right,
what,
cool.
It looks delicious, if I might add.
Ooh, wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and chomp on down that? I'm just going to go over some quick announcements that I'd like to go over. We had some really cool changes going on with the RFHL in the last week. It's been a pretty crazy week. I feel like I didn't get any work done at my actual job. Like Tuesday and Wednesday, I was just like constantly on my phone, just like looking at messages and chats and just like totally unfocused. But anyways, it's great, cool things. And I'm excited to be a part of it. I'm excited for the changes in the RFHL. First one, we started streaming the RFHL 8:30 game of the week on Peter's Twitch. That was awesome. Starting this season, we're now streaming all 4 games with full commentary. Super cool, super awesome. So anybody who's a part of the RFHL, if you have any interest in being a part of that broadcast, reach out within the Discord that we started this week. So if you go on the Discord, anybody that's part of this season in the RFHL or part of the RFHL in general, you should be getting an invite if you haven't already within your emails. We launched the Discord, all things RFHL, and it's great. Everything is centralized. We got all kinds of communication for RFHL. There's threads for the podcast, threads for the broadcast, threads for reffing, your team chat. There's a general chat. There's a memes chat. There's a chirp of the week chat. There is everything you can think of in there. And also extracurricular activities chat. Matt and I, we played ice hockey with other RFHLers. It was awesome tonight. So if you haven't joined the Discord, join it. And you can also, if you're interested in being part of the streams and commentating on the broadcasts, or even if you want to be on this podcast, which is also a new thing that has started this season for the RFHL, join the Discord, join the threads, reach out in there. And the last thing, we have a YouTube channel. It's launched live already. Everything's going to be on there. The pods are going to be on there. The stream games are going to be on there. It's just going to be awesome. So just a lot of cool things happening for the RFHL. I'm excited about it. How are you guys feeling about it? Matt, how you feeling?
I'm super excited. Hearing that all 4 games are going to be broadcast and commentated is super fun. I really enjoy watching it every week. Every game of the week, I pretty much try to at least join or catch some of it. But being able to like not have to worry about, okay, if I want to go back and watch a certain team and I only got to see them once this season for the time, or it's just going to be nice being able to see every team play. And also, not to mention the fact that it's nice to kind of keep track and know, like, all right, if I'm pulling in, now they're going into intermission, I'll get out of the car and walk in.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing. Get stuck in that hallway of death, just not knowing if you're going to be able to go in or not, what period they're in, how far behind the game is.
Mm-hmm. And also the Discord, I know it's busy right now, but with everyone joining and all the new things, but it's exciting stuff. I like all the different chats. It's nice having everyone's already engaged on it too, which is crazy. I love it.
Yeah. Brandon, what's your favorite thing about the changes that have happened in the last week with RFHL?
I mean, I think Matt pretty much nailed it right on the head. I mean, definitely not my internet right now because I think I'm freezing. But I mean, he nailed it. It's like all because I stayed and watched all the games as I normally do, and I enjoy. I had my headphones and I enjoy listening to all you guys through my headphones through Twitch. And I love that they've transferred to YouTube. That'll make it a lot easier to share, I think, and help spread. And, it was just, and honestly, as a stat keeper for the first game, it helps. It helps listen. Like, oh, he went from this guy to the goal. Maybe I missed a guy. So listening to guys having a commentator every game is just absolutely fantastic.
Which big shout out to all the commentators that are volunteering to do it. I know, Rob, you did the late 2 games, so like it takes commitment to stay and not only play your game but then do commentating as well.
Yeah, I learned after last week. I don't know if I'm going to do 2 games again. I was so parched and exhausted after the 9:30 game. I was like, I don't know if I got anything left in me. I was burnt out. But yeah, I did a couple of broadcasts last season, and I told Peter, I was like, I would love to be part of doing more broadcasts. I think it's super fun, especially if you can kind of have good banter and good conversation. And I mean, I'll just future broadcasters out there. If D'Angelo wants to do a broadcast with you, watch out for the things he says. He lets them slip sometimes. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, and he might not update the score. So just heads up on that. But D'Angelo did fantastic. Yeah. So moving forward, a couple things I want to talk about. I'm not going to spend too much time doing a recap on this past week. You're definitely going to have a nice little recap coming from your commissioner suite, wrapping up the scores, the games, and how everything went. We had a great first week in my opinion. Some surprising games, some surprising standouts, but to me, the one thing that was really cool were the rookies. This is the biggest rookie class that I've seen, I think, since I've been in the league. I am not nowhere near a huge season vet. I feel like, Brandon, you've been in the league for quite some time, right? Would you say this is a bigger rookie class? I'm losing him again.
Yep.
Slowly coming back.
Yeah, I'm the green light man. It only does it when you ask questions that it may
Maybe I'll direct my questions to Matt first. But yeah, would you agree this is a bigger rookie class since you've been in the league, or I don't know how long you've been a veteran?
This is getting ridiculous. I apologize.
It's all right. We got some technical difficulties. It's not a big deal. Matt, I feel like you've only seen probably 1 or 2 rookies each year since you've joined, right? You've only been in season this is probably your 4th season, I want to say.
I think so, and I think since I was a rookie, I think there's only been one other, and that was last season.
Yeah, with Chuck being the sole rookie.
Yeah,
and Brandon, your thoughts as far as rookie class?
I think I started in spring of 2018 during their SNL, I believe, season it was. That was a pretty big rookie class because I was a rookie goalie on Kirk's team, and he had 2 or 3 other rookies on that team as well. So I know that season, and since then, I don't know if this is 5 is a pretty big number. Is it 5 or 6 this year?
I want to say I want
to say it's 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 rookies this year.
Oh, well, okay, 7. I was way off. Yeah, it's definitely the biggest one I've seen since 2018. So it's good to get some fresh faces and more skill.
Yeah, I mean, it's skill is exactly it. I feel like it's been a good addition to have these rookies. It's good to have fresh faces. We had a couple conversations with a couple different people on Wednesday, and it's not the fact of that it feels like the league gets stale because it doesn't. Different themes every year, different teams because of the draft, but we're kind of to a point where you're seeing the same faces every week, but having these rookies, it kind of gives a different feel because you don't know who you're going up against. You know what I mean? And like the first thing I'd love to talk about is the rookie that I had to play against, who was Mark Stolt, and I honestly I feel like he was what I would call a sneaky sixth round pick. He wasn't at the rookie game, so no one really knew what he was going to bring. And then 2.0 was talking about, I think, on last podcast where they got to watch like a couple of different videos of him playing lacrosse, and he used to play football and he plays hockey, and so they were like, oh man, like did we get like a sneak win here? And right off my first shift playing against this dude, I was like, there's no way this guy just snuck in at sixth round. Like he came out there with such a tenacity. He was up in my face, just following the puck, and he was fast and aggressive on the puck. He didn't get any goals this week, but I really think he's going to be a rookie to watch. He's going to sneak up, and come next season, if he continues to play, he's not going to sneak in the sixth round. That guy's not going to make it past, in my opinion, the fourth or the fifth round.
No, that's the beauty of rookies. They'll get one season. If they'll get either underdrafted, you'll know, and then by the next season, if they play, you know exactly where they'll fit in.
Yeah, exactly. I think he brought a different level of energy, and Bill Smith's team's already, in my opinion, stacked. We got Sweet 2.0, Smith, Fridman, and D'Angelo, and I mean those five alone is a great team. And then they threw in this guy, and I'm like, okay, who allowed this to happen? Who allowed this to happen?
That's the beauty of having all those rookies, and especially if they don't show up to the rookie game, complete mystery.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon, but I know from a goalie standpoint, only the past few seasons, playing against a rookie where you have no idea what you're going against, it takes me half the game to figure out their play style and what to expect from them. And even then, you don't have a full idea.
I'll say half a game's good, because it would take me probably 2 games to get. I mean, there's guys in the league I still haven't figured out, but that might be a skill issue on my end.
No, I feel the same way. I feel like it's going to take me a whole game at least before I'm like, okay, this is how this guy's going to be playing. Then next week I'll be like, next time I play him, all right, I got an idea. He's a shooter, he's not a passer, or vice versa.
It's like Brad. Every time I feel like I got him figured out, and I don't.
No, you never know, Brad. Oh, he's going to go back. Nope, he didn't go backhand. Oh, he's going to shoot a wrist. Nah, he's not going to shoot.
One game you'll be a passer, the next game you'll shoot.
That dude's deadly from anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Matt, you actually have a rookie on your team, right?
I do. It's I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right, but Matthew Haruski.
Yeah, that's who it is. I want to say you said it right, but I don't know him, so
I'm sorry if I got it wrong. But yeah, no, he's honestly a great addition to the league. I think he was telling me that he played in the winter and the summer season. He played multiple of one and then one of the other, I think he said. But you could tell he fits right in. I mean, it's like he's been playing. He was talking with us. He was communicating. It was huge. He fit right in, and it's clicked. So super stoked to have him in the league.
Yeah, he had 2 assists and 3 blocks. So I'm sure you're really loving those 3 blocks.
The whole team was eating him up, and I watched him do a bunch of times. And I got to admit, I got to give a shout out to the captain, Steve. He told us after he drafted that he really wanted the team that was like communicating both on and off the rink, and everyone on the team is doing just that, including the rookie. He's one of the goals. Like it was great, like cut across from Paul. He took the shot, went up in top corner, and immediately Matt turned around and started communicating like, "Hey, if I block that, just talk to me, let me know." And he did exactly what the captain wants, communicating.
Awesome. One other rookie I want to touch base on is I got the pleasure of broadcasting his game with Sean Petrie on Dan Hook's team. La Tremblayon, whatever you want to say that name. But we didn't know Sean Petrie, me and D'Angelo, we didn't know who he was, what he was going to bring to the game, and he came out with his little mullet. And I was like, this guy's got hockey in his head. Like anybody's running around anybody on a hockey rink with a mullet, he's a hockey player. And right now he's leading all rookies with points. He had 2 goals and 3 assists, I want to say. Yeah, 2 goals, 3 assists, 2 blocks. So the dude came out with fire. He put on a lot of good pressure. It almost looked like the first period he was trying to find his game. But by the second and third period, it almost seemed like he had been playing in the RFHL for a few weeks almost at that point. So I'm definitely excited to see how he takes off and handles the rest of the season. And obviously, I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I brought in rookie Jake Schmalley, and I mean, he's going to be a great great deadly threat to the season. I'm excited to see what he does. He had 3 goals this past week, but he's definitely another standout rookie in my opinion. But
what? I'm not excited to play against him.
yeah, dude.
I'm in the 6:30 game this week, so I'll let you know because I played against the rookie game as well, and he left some marks even with my pads on.
Yeah, and he's got a pretty rough shot, man. He's got a pretty rough shot. It hurts. Brandon, I believe you statted the 6:30 game for Rob Maston, who had the sinkhole sidewinders. He's got 2 rookies on his team. Keller wasn't there this week, but Jeff Chopin was. Do you have any thoughts on what it looked like his game was like? I didn't get a chance to watch that game.
I mean, I'm pretty vague on what the stats were, but from what I can remember, he, like you said, with some of the rookies, it took him probably 2 or 3 shifts to kind of get his legs underneath him, and then from there on out, he looked like he belonged on the floor, like he's been there before.
Yeah, he's smack dab right now with all the rookies. He's got 2 right in the middle, I should say, smack dab in the middle. He's got two goals,
they were
1 assist.
also missing Brad too, so with an injury. So I mean, that could improve his, because you know how Brad is with, you know. So, but he looked, as I said, it took him 1 or 2 to get his sea legs from underneath him, and then after that, he looked like he belonged on the floor, like he's been doing it for years.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see him play, so it'll be exciting if he's already doing well on his own with that team, seeing how he might be able to feed off of Brad might be really interesting and what that can do for that team.
Yeah, I can't remember what his stats were. I don't know if he got. I'm pretty sure he got 2. He said he had 2 goals and
1 assist.
1 assist. Yeah. So he absolutely, him and Brad might be pretty good force. He was there defensively too. He made it back when needed. So
solid.
So definitely looks solid out there.
Cool. Yeah. So I mean, I think I'm starting to get a little bit of echo from somebody at this point. Not too sure who's coming through the echo now.
Yeah, I think that might be me. Give me 1 second of it. We got something going on.
We're having some technical difficulties tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that.
Mine seem to, I don't knock on wood. It seemed to clear up a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like you're rolling real good right now, but Matt, we're getting a little bit more echo still.
Still getting some echo?
Let me see. Just a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely on your end because I just muted my mic to see, and it's still doing it. So,
but try and move on a little bit here. So like I said, we had an explosive week 1. Some great teams that just kind of like were not what I expected. But it was definitely an interesting game on each end. How do you guys feel about your team? I'll start off. After week 1, I'm excited to see where our team goes. I think we definitely had our gel period this week, which was just trying to figure out who's going to play where, how to play where. We have a very offensively forward game. I think Kyle kind of made the sacrifice to grab Reddit and Jake off the bat, and then sat in that draft room and just threw the papers in the air and said, "Screw it, no plan. I'm gonna go all offense." And I think that was his plan. Once he realized there was such a hard goalie press in the second round, where he just decided from that point on he was just going to try and pick as much offense as he could. So we definitely have a very offensive tenacity team. But I think we're just got to try and find out who's going to play back, who's going to round the circles a little bit here, who's going to hang high, who's actually going to push forward. Jake was telling me after the game that he felt like he didn't push up enough, like he should have, which I feel like, I mean, the dude had 3 goals out of our 7. So I think he kind of found himself where he needed to be. So, but I think with our team, we really got to find ways to score goals. We don't want to play from behind because no one wants to play from behind, but like we're in a situation where we can't really defend a lead. We want to be able to push the offense and continue to push it. So hopefully moving forward, we can find a way to keep the gel going and put our week 1 loss behind us and just move forward with some W's. Matt, how do you feel about your team after week 1?
I'm very, very excited to play with all these guys. I mean, everyone is just generally good people, but they're all really well-rounded hockey players. I was telling the guys at one of the intermissions, I think it might have been the second intermission, that I'm like, whatever you guys are doing out there, it looks great. sitting from behind and watching them do their thing. It was great watching them. And we were missing Conco and Kyle Crick that game, so we had Jesse sub in for it. And I mean, once we get Conco and Kyle back into the mix, it's just gonna be, it's got to be better.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt. I mean, Jesse played a game prior to yours, so I mean, you didn't even have 100% Jesse, and you guys still looked pretty good against a pretty good team. And I called it last week on the podcast. I said it's going to be a tight game. It's going to be a 1-goal game. And it started off kind of slow in the beginning, and it almost seemed like you guys weren't going to get control of the game at one point. I felt like Meteor Mayhem came out really hard. Paul was just balls to the wall. They opened up with the first goal of the game, and I was like, me and Shane were doing the broadcast in that game, and I was like, man, if they can't slow this team down, they're gonna get snowballed. And it seemed like you guys scored 2 quick ones back to back, and then just kind of like at that point controlled it. And then in the second period, you guys had like a nice breakout where you pulled ahead by 4, and it really like changed the whole game completely.
Yeah.
I think.
And honestly, that team that we played against, they're a tough team. I know you guys talked about it in the draft and also in the week 1 podcast, but that's a tough team to play against. There's a lot of good vets that we were playing against, so I walked into it. We had to be locked in, which I don't think we even got a chance to talk about Mike Curry as the other rookie.
Yeah.
But we played against him, and he fit right into the role. Like, he just looked like he was another vet out there with the same people. So it was a tough team to play against for sure.
Agreed. But I mean, you guys definitely pulled it out. You gelled it, and I'm excited to see how dangerous you guys are going to be when you guys have a healthy Conco back and Kyle Crick. A full 6 for you guys with your team with that gel, because I feel like that's the only thing that even slowed you guys down and didn't even hurt you. I mean, you guys were slowing down in the second period. I could see the exhaustion between Jesse just being burnt down from playing a second game, and you guys just seemed like you just couldn't keep the pace going. But if you have a Conco on your team, that guy never slows down. So you guys are going to be scary, good.
I'm very much looking forward to the rest of the season with these guys. You know, I was watching the amount of shots that they were blocking. I think you said it earlier was crazy. So I'm loving that piece of it, but just watching them being able to pass it, they were just doing everything that they needed to win the game. It was fun watching them.
Hell yeah. Well, Brandon, you got a team of vets, all vets, and good vets at that. How do you feel about your team after week 1?
I like a lot of these guys. I like them all, but I think they all can fit very well into. A lot of them are two-way players. We started off really well. I think it was a close game. I think it was a 1-goal game going into the third, and I think we got a little tired, myself included. But I've played with foes before. I mean, you know what he brings to the table. Just a wicked shot and just overall, arguably the best player in the league, if not definitely top 2 or 3. And then you get Tom. I'm surprised he actually fell kind of that far into the draft, but I guess not really, since most of the goalies went in the second round. So it's not really. I think only 2 players went in the second round. Everybody else was goalies.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's top 7 player in the and then choosing and then that was me in the third. I think that's what Kyle was telling me, is he was hoping I would make it to the back end of the third. And that whole run of goalies just kind of screws the draft up. But let's see who else. I played with Jesse before. I don't know if I played with Chatterton. If I did, it was back at the Y for, I don't know, maybe half the season when I got traded with Packard. I don't know if he was on that team or not, but. And then Dan, I've played with. I think this is the 3rd straight season I played with Dan. And,
really?
Oh yeah, we've been on the same team for a while. But I mean, I love what he brings. He never stops running, and I always say that he is the most unluckiest guy in the world, because he could have 6 or 7 goals if the puck always seems to bounce off his stick every time, I feel like. And then playing with Ellen for the first time, that'd be nice, because she's in the past couple seasons brought up her tenacity, her physicality. Yeah. She's going into the corner for the puck or the wall, and that's nice to see. And she's, I think it was 2.0, or one of you brought it up at the draft, that she's doubled her points in the last season.
Yeah, 2.0 brought that up. Yep.
So I'm excited to see what all these guys can bring together once we kind of get more games under our belt. I let a couple in I probably shouldn't have, but those are going to happen.
Yeah.
Offensively, they were blocking shots. They were doing well. I think there were 2 breakaways, but we were facing a good Dan Hook with a rookie and the best goalie in the league, arguably.
Yeah.
So
Yep. I made a few comments about that on the broadcast. I felt like Dan kind of had the more of a well-rounded team. He doesn't, I don't think Dan really has a more excuse me, like more offensive driven or defensive driven team.
They're both all right in the middle. They're all
every single person on that team scored a goal on Wednesday.
With Mark, if you get even like 8 or 9 goals, you should be good.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to score 13, 14 like some of the teams with the lower end goalies, but
exactly.
No, I'm excited to see what we can all do.
Yeah, I don't know if you listen to the podcast, but I definitely had you guys pegged as the finalists this year.
Yeah, I kind of
feel like I don't know, man. It's that Foes Tom Jesse line. That's dangerous. I mean, Chatterton's really good too. I mean, it's crazy. You should fear and respect the top 3, and then you just cannot underestimate the bottom 3. You just can't. And I mean, it's a very, very tough team when you look at it, and it's tough when you look at it on paper and tough when you play against. So
you never know with these drafts, and that's what I love about this league is no same person or team is winning it every year. You can sit there and guess all you want who's going to win, who's not, and I mean,
exactly.
last year, 8 seed won, I think, the championship. So
Yep.
All about the right time.
That's definitely the best part about this league, and I mean, we'll see how you feel about your team since we get to play against each other in week 1 or in week 2. So that's going to be a fun matchup. Us going against each other.
Oh boy.
Top show.
So before we get into our predictions and wrap this up, we're going to hit our little segment of Chirp of the Week. This is definitely a fun little thing that I think we're going to have on the podcast. If you're on the Discord, find that thread, throw in your favorite chirps. And each week the podcast host is going to choose who they think is the Chirp of the Week. And this week's definitely Bob Hartman taking the cake on Chirp of the Week with the shots at my bar are stronger. If you guys don't know, Bob owns and runs with his wife the Alt Bar, non-alcoholic bar. So if his shots are stronger, I mean that's a pretty good dig there. So I like it, and shout out to Bob, shout out to Alt Bar. So that's a great Trip of the Week, Bob. Thank you for it. So let's get this show wrapped up, and let's move into some predictions here. Coming up in the next week. Looking at the schedule here, we got the 6:30 game. We've got Storm Surge versus Tsunami Technicians. 7:30 game. We got Fukushima Face Off versus the Meteor Mayhem. 8:30 game. We got the Firestorms Hockey Club versus the Tipsy Talking Twisters. And then the 9:30 game, we got the Sinkhole Sidewinders versus Les Tremblayants. Matt, let me hear some predictions for the games next week.
Honestly, every game is going to be tough this season. We were just talking about it, like what Brandon was saying. Any team could walk away with it because any team, any week is going to play well. I mean, if we're going with the 6:30 game, Storm Surge and Tsunami Tacticians. Let's see. I'm looking at the rosters here. Oh, it's you. Yeah, you were just saying you guys are going to play each other. It's going to be a tough one. I mean, you got Foes and Tom, and then Brandon and Nat, and then you got a really offensive team on the other side too. So it's going to be a fun game. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Definitely fun one to watch. If I had to pick between the two of who's going to win it. Oh man, this one's a tough one for me. If I had to pick, I'm probably going to go with Storm Surge.
I was going to say, it only happened because you're videoing with two of the team. I was going to say, I won't take anything you say into granted because, as you said, anything's a toss up. High scoring offense versus me. So me and Tim matchups are always it's always a fun matchup.
Yeah, sorry, Rob. I got to pick him on this one.
All right.
You want me to go through the other time
yeah.
slot too? Okay.
Yeah.
So the 7:30 Fukushima versus Meteor. Let's see, Fukushima and Meteor. That again, a really good matchup between the two. I know the Fukushima face-off team. We had talked about it. You guys have talked about it a bunch. But that team seems like a frustrating team to play against. I'm super happy I'm playing goalie because playing out against them would be super frustrating. And after playing Bob's team, Meteor Mayhem, that's also a very skilled team. Between the two, I actually think Fukushima may come out. It's going to be a close scoring game on this one, but I think Fukushima is going to take that one. 8:30 Firestorms versus us, Tipsy Talking Twisters. I got to pick us. It's a no-brainer. It's not going to be an easy team, that's for sure, though. With Sweet and 2.0, with Bill Smith as their top three, and then the rest of their depth with Paul, Brian, Mark as the rookie, and then Kenton, it's going to be a tough team, but I'm still picking us. And then 8:30 or the 9:31 to finish it off, Sinkhole Sidewinders, Les Tremblants. You said it better than I did. Let's see. Between those ones, another good matchup. This week is going to be full of good matchups. Between the two, I'm going to say Dan's team's got to walk away with it, but Brad's going to put up a good fight. That's going to be a close one, but I think Dan's team's going to walk away with that. Let's Tremblements.
Awesome. Thank you. Brandon, what do you got for predictions?
Oh, let's see here. I got to go through my phone, so I'm going to probably won't bring up players much, but obviously 6:30, I guess I have to go with my team. I don't know if my team would appreciate but between me and Tim, as I said, we always have good matchups. They're always high scoring, a lot of offense. It's usually a lot of fun for one of us anyway. So I'll take my team by we'll say one. We'll say a last minute goal. We'll say Chatterton. 7:30 is who is it? Fukushima and Meteor. I liked a lot of what I've seen from because I think Fukushima played 6:30 and that's the game I statted. And that team is just scary, whether it be physical or skill wise. So I'll probably have to take Fukushima. And who is it? Firestorms versus you guys, Matt. What do we got? Oof. You said what was it? Firestorms versus
Tipsy Talking Twisters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll have to take the Tipsy. I think that'll come down to nothing against anybody in this league because they're all fantastic. But I think it'll come down to the goalie matchup between Matt and Kenton. And if Conco comes and plays, that'll be a big help for the Twisters. And then the last one, I'm calling them I call them the croissants. I'm not even going to attempt to say that one versus Sidewinders. Oof, that'll be a fun one. You know what? I'm gonna say the Sidewinders will take that one. If Brad plays, I'm not sure if because I think he was out with an injury, so I don't know if he'll be 100%. But if he is 100%, I'll take this Sidewinders.
Solid. All right. Well, for me, I'd have to say for the 6:30 game, obviously I'm gonna take myself and the Tsunami Tacticians. 7:30 Fukushima face off. Mayhem. I think Fukushima is gonna just keep steamrolling. I think that team's just they're gonna be they're the natural disaster of this season for sure. I think they're just gonna steamroll and tornado and hurricane through everybody.
That's actually really accurate representation of the
team. 8:30 game. That I think that's going to be the game of the week. I know 6:30s are now the game of the week with Peter broadcasting, but I think 8:30s our highlight game. That's going to be a very, very tough game. I know it definitely comes down to a goalie matchup between Kenton and Matt, but on the floor, it's just a very, very tough game, especially if you got Conco here. If you got a healthy Conco this week, that I don't even know how this game's going to go. This could be an overtime game. I think I'm going to take Tipsy Talking Twisters on this one in overtime. That's my prediction there. And then 9:30 with Sinkhole Signwinders and Le Tremblant. I think Mark is just going to stand on his head as he does. I think this is going to come down to a goalie game, and if Mark plays the way Mark does, I think it's going to even with a healthy Brad, or I mean even with a recovering Brad coming back from an injury, I mean I think Mark's going to be able to shut it down. You got rookie Petrie and fish and chips with Hawk just kind of running the floor. So I think that the team is just they're gonna show themselves again week in and week out and kind of control the floor. So I think they're gonna take it.
Solid picks.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, I think that's gonna bring us to the end of the show, guys. I really appreciate you guys being on here talking with me this week. Definitely some cool things going on. These rookies are exciting. It makes the league exciting. The new things happening right now are making it exciting. So I'm excited to see where everything goes. I've said excited about 6 times in the last 30 seconds, so I apologize for that. I'm just excited. You know, I just don't know how to,
guys.
yeah, I just don't know how else to word it, but the fact that I'm excited. So, yeah, this should be a good week. And thank you guys again. Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you guys haven't joined the Discord and you got the email, join the Discord. Matt, Brandon, you guys have anything else you want to say before we go?
Thanks for having us. Like,
Yeah,
it was fun being part of the podcast.
It's been a pleasure. First like on-screen thing I've done in a while. So.
Oh yeah. Well, thank you guys, and as always, as anything would be with RFHL, is it Wednesday yet?